What's up, Retro Gamers? Dan here on the show floor at Classic Game Fest with Rob and Jay, star and director of Nintendo Quest, documentary film that's showing right behind me. I mean, it's a dream of a lot of people to own all 600 and some odd NES games that are released in the US. Tell me a little bit about, where did this idea come from? Is it a dream of y'all's?
Yeah, so basically I've been a collector my whole life. Rob's been a filmmaker his whole life. We're best friends. He calls me and he says he wants to do a documentary on collecting. So we kind of structured it like a challenge just to put a little more kick to it. So he challenged me to get all the US retail released NES games in 30 days, no online purchases, without the internet.
Well, what it really comes down to, man, is this has been his lifelong dream. You know, it doesn't matter what your dream is. What can you accomplish towards your dream if you take 30 days out of your life and put everything else on hold? Whether you want to write a book, whether you want to get a whole library of NES games, put everything else aside and do it, because dreams are important, and that's what this film is about.
That's awesome. That's a good lesson for anybody, whether it's video game related or not. I think it's really cool that you guys decided to film the whole journey, because you really get a sense of like as a collector myself, it's cool to kind of watch somebody else's journey. Like, oh, that's how we got that game. That's how we got that game. Everybody has a story about how they got, their favorite game or their rarest game. So it's really cool to see. Can you guys talk a little bit about maybe like some of the challenges filming or some of the more interesting, like weird things that happened along the way without spoiling too much?
Sure, I'll stick to the filming side and I'll let Jay talk about some of the weird things. Filming, it's an endurance run, right? Because we decided to film the entire 30 days plus interviews above and beyond. But just take the 30 days. There's 6 of us in the minivan with our luggage, with our film gear, with more and more games every single day. And you're driving from the crack of dawn.
You actually took the games with you. Everywhere you went, you had all the games.
Absolutely. Well, we made 2 big road trips into the U.S. because we started from Canada, where Jay and I are from. And we would go down there. So we would start like with each road trip with nothing in the car, and then it slowly built up, and we'd go south and south. And then it became like playing Tetris in the van every time we got in. And sometimes I would open a door and realize, oh crap, there was games there. And an avalanche of carts would get me. Jay's got a pretty good, interesting story, though, of something that happened as we were trying to drive away from Texas. We ran out of fuel. Jay?
So our producer, Jordan, he's a big car guy, which makes this story really funny.
Like, he's a gearhead, right? Like, he knows everything about cars. We're like, well, let him drive. We'll be fine.
So we're driving. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere on the interstate, and he was reading the gauges the wrong way. He thought it was at full. This is a car guy, too, so...
Yeah.
What kind of car?
As a minivan, just I don't know.
It's a Volkswagen minivan.
Yeah. And so we ran out of gas on the freeway, and we had to get out, push the van. Luckily, we weren't too...
Full of NES cartridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, it wasn't too far from a gas station, but there's just us, like Conan the Barbarian, pushing this big thing, and... Who was steering? You?
No, Jordan was
steering? Okay.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that happened during filming that you really can't write this stuff. It's just amazing.
Awesome. It's part of the joys of documentary filmmaking is you can't write it. So, last question. Favorite NES game to play?
DuckTales, hands down. It's a great platformer, lots of secrets, and it's one of the best licensed games on the NES.
Zelda 2.
Zelda 2, interesting. That is typically people's least favorite Zelda game. So it's interesting, yeah.
It's hard, it's scary, it scares people. It's terrifying.
It's like the mix between like Dragon Warrior, Zelda, side-scroller, like what's going on. That's cool.
Yeah, so a little bit about Zelda 2, why I'm so in love with the game is because when I was a kid, it was one I didn't understand. I didn't understand the leveling up system and the putting experience into whatever. And it scared me because it's damn hard too. So again, going along with the theme of the movie, getting over your fears and challenges, I said, you know what, I'm going to finish this game. So I put it in, and I think 1 week finished it 3 times, and I still love it's my favorite because it's just so damn hard. But that's good, and I think a lot of modern games are missing that challenge, right? So.
And DuckTales, one of the few games, actually early on, licensed games were pretty good.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, they decided, well, they're going to buy it anyway, who cares? And so, yeah, DuckTales definitely up there. Thank you guys so much for your time. Check out Nintendo Quest. Do you guys have a website? Where can they find you?
NintendoQuest.com. We made it easy.
Easy peasy. So check them out. And make sure you like and subscribe to this video if you want to see more cool stuff from Classic Game Fest.